Yeah, I would get in this one area right here and it could take me all day to just physically try to break this down. I can look at the high percentage places inside this bay and know if there's active fish here, kind of what they're doing or not, and move fairly quickly. It's like everything else, you know, back in the day, Jim Brown and Larry Zonka were big men that played professional football. I'm not sure anymore if they would be, if they would still be starting for, you know, in the NFL, because the players have gotten bigger and faster over the years, and just like professional fishing, the biggest thing that's changed in fishing is the speed of the game. It is the speed of the game. By using this technology in a matter of seconds, I can go from having a very unproductive day to one of the best days that I've ever had on the water in just a very few minutes. And what would used to take me hours and hours and hours of chunking and winding and looking at graphs and staring at paper, because half the stuff that was on a paper map back in those days didn't exist. I mean, they literally took topo charts from the Army Corps of Engineers, and that's how they made these maps. And a lot of the sweet spots weren't there. You had to physically find them. And in a lot of ways, those were good, because a lot of the stuff that I learned years and years ago, you didn't hardly ever see anybody on that stuff because it was that specific. Well, now, because of the detail and all that's available to everybody that buys a Lake Master card and the quality of the Humminbird electronics, anybody off the street can learn the same thing I can learn in a matter of a day. I mean, it's here. You know, can it be a little overwhelming to first learn it? Yeah, but don't be afraid of it, because you're not gonna mess these units up. I don't care what you do. If you get in here and you go to trying to adjust it, I mean, they come pretty close from the factory. All I literally could recommend to anybody is if you go to the main page of a Humminbird graph, if you wanna go into your 2D sonar, you wanna go in to your live sonar or DI, whatever it is, you simply go to your home page, you select that screen, and in the top left corner, you have all your functions to be able to adjust that page, that view. And it's simple. I mean, you can see that this is factory settings. I haven't even adjusted it because I've been using it on the front, but on this particular unit, I haven't even adjusted the sensitivity or the contrast or whatever. But the dynamic contrast, the contrast and the sensitivity is pretty much all you need to mess with. It's simple. I can take and touch sensitivity, I can turn it down, and I can watch what it does without getting off the screen, so I know if I've altered anything that I don't like. I can turn it up and I can look at the view. I can look at the clarity of the screen. I can go in here and I can touch contrast. I can turn the contrast up and you can watch the screen clean up, or I can turn the contrast down. And a lot of these things, like on live or any of them, I'll literally throw a bait out there and I'll watch the bait fall in the cone, or I'll sit here and drop it behind it and I'm watching, and that's how you learn. The way you learn, I mean, you can turn all these dials all you want, but you need to physically see your bait fall. You need to see a fish. If you know a place that you've always caught them and you know exactly what's on the bottom there, when you get your graphs and you want to learn how to use them, you know what's there, go turn them on. Go play with those settings on a piece of structure that you know how it lays out, and it will teach you more than anything. It's simple. And then there's so many videos available now on YouTube. I mean, there's so many of our guys out there that use these products that you can literally specifically type in adjusting 360, adjusting live, adjusting 2D on a Humminbird Helix, a Solix, or an Apex. That it's just taking a little bit of time, and it's going to increase the days of your productivity on the water 1,000-fold. I'm 60 years old, guys. I was driving a Studebaker, I guess. I feel like now with these kids, but it's easy. And all it really took, I'm fortunate, I do this for a living, and the only thing that I have advantage-wise is I've been blessed that I get to do this for a living, and I get to spend hours and hours and hours. But the stuff that I've just tried to share with you will shortcut your process 100-fold. Don't be afraid of it, and I'm gonna show you one thing you can always do. This is all, if you get it all jacked up and you think you're all messed up, okay? And you're just all, you messed your unit up. Home screen. There's one thing you can always do. When you mash home screen and you go to settings, I'm gonna do it again. Settings, you're on the home screen, settings. And if you've got everything out of whack, that restore default button right there, you can, if you think you've jacked up your sonar settings, restore them. If you think you've jacked up your live settings, restore them. If you've got the whole thing out of whack, hit restore factory defaults. It don't get no easier. Don't be afraid of them, use them. And you will absolutely spend more enjoyable days on the water than you ever have in your whole life.